What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's been kind of a strange one in the Premier League. We'll show you the predictions league table. We all only got 5 points. That's how crazy the results were this weekend. City able to turn it round. Liverpool able to turn it round. Arsenal were not. Chelsea were not either. But we are here to banter Manchester United, so that's always fun. Go ahead, right out the rip. Let's get the likes up on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for being here. We are on our way to 200 subscribers, and let's get the notification bell on as well. I think the best place to start tonight is the only happy one among us. Lewis, what you telling me?
Before we get started on this, I do want to give a shout out to Clemson. They just won the college soccer national championship.
Nice. There you go.
2-1. And so, yeah, that's 2 in the last 3 years. They won in 2021 and 2023 now. So
awesome. I knew they were good. I didn't know that they were champions good.
Yeah, yeah. So it just ended about 45 minutes ago now. So, yeah.
Who they play?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, sure.
They won 2-1. Notre Dame scored on a penalty kick with a minute left. So Clemson had not given up a goal in 450 minutes before that PK goal.
Wow.
Nice.
That's impressive.
What's funny about college soccer is like their freaking national titles always in the dead of cold. Like as soon as you get freaking cold,
everybody's wearing gloves and everything.
Yep.
I joked and I said it's a real shame that the snood did not become popular here. Y'all remember the snood?
Which one is that?
The one that Nasri used to wear around his neck.
Yes. It's like things that people wear to hunt. It's like when you're out there hunting, you get the whole hood or whatever. You're looking like a scuba diver.
Exactly. Yeah, continue. Sorry, I just wanted.
Yeah, there weren't many scuba divers down at Luton Town, but they actually gave it a go. What you saying, Lewis?
Well, it's funny. Like I had the opportunity to watch the game during the city treble trophy tour. I think this was the last stop, so it was kind of cool, to see all the trophies and like breathe it in. Like that Champions League trophy is something else, man. It's freaking giant. But the Premier League trophy is no joke. And seeing those things before going in and just seeing the energy, I was like, yeah, I think we got it. And then they went out and they proceeded to not want to shoot the ball anytime they got near the box. I've never seen that before in life but even though this is a complaint we had before, right, where they just wouldn't shoot. And same thing, they just won't shoot. And it's confusing because that's why Haaland is so important because he takes those chances. But Luton Town got their one chance and they took it. And I mean, it's a combination of bad marking and like I didn't know how Diaz just completely lost the guy. But it was a good cross.
Also, at the beginning of the play, Ross Barkley shrugs off Bernardo, he shrugs off Alvarez, and he shrugs off Rodri, all at the same in the same challenge. They all three go in on him, and he shrugs them all off to get the ball off. So, I mean, Ross Barkley rolling back the years, man.
Yeah, and so I
you couldn't kick the ball forward for Chelsea. I mean, like.
Well, so I don't take anything from the goal. They earned that goal. But it's funny, like you bring up the point about Ross Barkley and Chelsea. Is I think sometimes, and I'm being honest, man. I think there was a movie. I was a kid. I don't remember it really well, but I remember it was a movie about a guy who wanted to go to Real Madrid, and then he got there and it was too big for him. I think a lot of these guys, they're
thinking of Goal, right?
Huh?
Is that the sequel? The second movie in the Goal trilogy.
Which is
fantastic, by the way.
Santiago Muñez.
Yes.
Yeah, where he just wasn't ready
to Newcastle to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So my perspective is a lot of these guys go to teams they're not ready to be in because it's not even they lack the skill, they lack the mentality to be in these places. and we'll obviously talk about it with the Chelsea thing, because I think Chelsea is one of those clubs where you have to have a mentality to be there, or you just won't succeed. And Kai Havertz at Arsenal probably is a pretty good fit, but he sucked at Chelsea too. So
why are we always bringing up Havertz randomly in other segments?
But I wasn't saying something positive this time. Normally I'm the positive guy. I wasn't super positive, but so bringing that all back, it's just looking at it and saying, well, glad to see Grealish got a goal. Bernardo literally had to just take a hit at it because dudes were dancing in the damn box again.
I thought he was fantastic.
But he's been that way. But again, the team.
That's why he's on the thumbnail.
Well, but the thing is that with City, what it's concerning to me is that they literally, and I understand teams have a talisman, but they keep having to depend on one guy to do stuff to wake everybody up, man. The whole team is better than them. Shoot the flipping ball. That whole dependent on somebody, because the joke is City is Rodri FC, because I think their record is like 43 consecutive games without a loss when he played.
It's crazy, yeah. Y'all's last 5 losses have come without him.
It's so stupid. I mean, I appreciate how good he is, but it's dumb at the same time. But I'm glad to get the 3 points. The ugly 3 points is 3 points all the same.
Yeah. I mean, Luton Town, man, giving people fits and starts. At home. That's fair. But
I wonder though if teams are actually going to Luton with serious mindsets.
Arsenal didn't.
And I mean, City went down 1-0. And of course they responded pretty quickly. Or not.
It was right before halftime.
But before halftime, and then they followed it up with like a
well, no. Luton scored right before halftime. I actually just watched the 90 minutes. Yeah, Luton scored right before halftime. Okay. And then it was like 59 and 61. It was bam bam.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It just we've seen it with Liverpool, and not taking anything away from Luton. I'm not, but you've seen it with Liverpool. You've seen it with Arsenal. You've seen it with City. Like, are they just that much better at home, or is it the environment? Is it because
Yeah,
I think that tiny field has a lot to do with it as well. These big Premier League clubs used to playing on huge, wide, expansive, long fields, and Luton are like the exact opposite. Their field is, and the fans are like right up on them, like it's a Sunday league game.
6 rows in each section. Like, it's not like 20, 30 rows up. It's like 6 rows, and you got everybody in just one big square. I still can't believe it's only 10,000. Or it's 10,000. It doesn't even look like it would be 10,000.
It doesn't. Well,
no. It looks like a Charleston Battery Stadium.
It's like the Villa thing. Like, I think just teams do something different at home, and they play well at home. Oh, I guess. Hold on, I got to give my indictment, scathing indictment on and Kyle Walker. I'm looking at his score, and there's no way he was a 7.3. Now I don't know what. Maybe I'm not gonna say he was that bad, but he sure wasn't a 7 point nothing.
Who gave him that rating?
On FootMob, they got him at a 7.3, which is not correct. They have him rated
generous.
Better than Diaz, which is also incorrect. So
that's generous.
That's super generous, because they have Kovacic at 7.4, and he wasn't that good in the game either.
He wasn't all that either. No.
I'm disagreeing with all those numbers, but Kyle Walker, City, and respectfully, City need a fullback. They need 2 fullbacks, but truthfully, they need a fullback on the right side to make Kyle Walker have a challenge, because that's the other issue he's facing. There's nobody there to challenge him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I thought at one point, because like right when I turned the game on, I was fixing dinner, so I wasn't like paying really, really close attention. But when I actually started, watching real close, Gvardiol had gotten he was so high on the left-hand side for like a long period of time that I was like, he's not playing winger. He's not playing winger, is he? He's not actually employed as the winger, because without Haaland, you were kind of back into the false nine thing with Alvarez up top, but they were so fluid. They were moving around back and forth that for a minute there, I couldn't like Jack Grealish was popping up in the middle of the park and Foden would pop. You said it before we got on, Lewis. Your wingers were super narrow and they kind of tucked in underneath Alvarez and were super narrow, and you were getting width from Walker and Gavardiol, which is interesting because when's the last time Pep didn't do the inverted thing, right? So it was interesting to see that once again you take one man out of the City team. This time it's Haaland, and Pep switches it all up completely, and it's like a whole different thing. That was very intriguing, I thought. I mean, and again, maybe it's like you're saying, Patrick. Did even Pep kind of be like, "Hey, this is Luton. We don't need Haaland today.
Let's practice some stuff."
Oh man, I am telling you, not to bring up the fantasy team, but I about flipped out when I saw that he wasn't on the team sheet.
Well, I didn't I tell you guys that he wasn't playing. They announced it
told you to play Mo Salah. We told you. We told you to play Mo Salah.
Captain
on Friday, Haaland wasn't playing.
Yeah, I got absolutely zero from him.
Of course, yes.
He didn't see his field. He wasn't. Was he even there?
No, he wasn't even. He didn't even make the trip.
Oh man, that's rough.
Didn't make the trip. I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
And
kind of going back to your point, I don't know what's his injury. What's his injury, Lewis?
Just a foot injury. He said he had a bruised bone on his foot, and he couldn't walk after the Villa game. But then he sat out of practice, and then the next day he was able to go to practice. But Pep told the physios to just keep him off and let him rest.
Yeah, if it's just a bruise at 20 years old, you're going to be back next week, bro. You're going to be good.
And they play Red Star Belgrade, I think, in the Champions League. So he's not going to play in that game either.
Haven't you won the group already?
Yeah.
I saw a joke where it said like Pep is going to play center mid and Kiki is going to play like left.
I was actually going to make that joke in the Arsenal segment, but we'll go ahead and pull it out right here. Why don't we petition to get in the City team for Wednesday?
For the chance game?
Why not playing anybody serious?
Why not? Because like the same with Arsenal. Like we could literally go play for Arsenal.
I'm down for it
tomorrow, and it would not matter. Arsenal could take a 10-0 tomorrow, and it does not matter at all. So yeah, why don't we see if Pep will put us in the City team? He's clearly not going to play Calvin Phillips. I have experience in the CDM. I have experience in six.
I'll go be your Jack Grealish, bro. I'll go draw some fouls.
Pep.
I got you, bro.
Just the one game. You don't even have to pay me. You don't even have to pay me.
Just let me keep the jersey.
Yeah, I did see that he's going to sell Calvin Phillips.
He was like, he sounded so remorseful. And again, I'm not questioning his motives by any means, but he's sitting there like fidgeting and things like I know I do that too, but it seemed like he was trying to get through a lie and actually sound like really, sincere about it. Like, how can you have not found a place for him by now?
Or was he embarrassed because we all know that you fought to get Calvin Phillips into the club, Pep? That was your guy. So is he a little bit embarrassed because now he's complete 180? Yeah, I just don't see him in the team.
Sometimes you're wrong.
We know. Yeah. We know. Rodri's missed 4 games this season, and Calvin Phillips did not play in any of them.
Yeah.
We know that you don't rate him. We can see it.
It was just interesting. I'm becoming more and more fascinated with his pressers before matches.
Because last week it was all, we're definitely gonna win the league. Of course we're gonna win the league.
Yeah, we already discussed that. I know we already discussed that. But
the funny thing is, the point he made, which is a valid point, is he said, and I think he's just irritated at this point. Is he said, I think he replied, he's like, well, I have to say we're gonna win the league because if we don't win the league, it's a failure. But if everyone else wins the league, it's a success. because the standard is so different now. And so I get where he might be a little frustrated about, you know what, if Arsenal win the league, that's fantastic. And if Liverpool win the league, it's fantastic. And if City wins the league, nah. And you know, it's sort of a thing where they're supposed to win the league. So what? Anyways, I agree with you, Pep. I mean Patrick.
Pep on the pod this week.
Yeah, he's Pep in the predictions league, so it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, like you said, Jake. I think he just don't. He's trying to own that he did it wrong, but he's also not trying to like screw the guy's value, because you get that too. Like you don't want to screw up his value, and so think about it. Anytime he's ever said anything about Calvin Phillips has been nice. He's never said anything negative about him. So he wants to make sure, because apparently I think United is going to be in for him or something. So. Whatever.
I thought I saw Newcastle was going to be on him too.
I saw it too. Which means if he sells him to either one of those teams, he really doesn't rate him, because
right. Is he going to play tomorrow or Wednesday?
I saw something where they said this probably will be his last game he plays.
Yeah, might as well.
January window. Yep.
You know, definitely might as well.
I mean, you can sell it as a Champions League, medal winner.
He won everything.
Premier League,
all the medals,
winner,
and he's going to the Club World Cup, so it's possible he will have completed football, with the exception of the England team, which, I mean, if they do what they're supposed to do, because he's going to get picked anyways, because Southgate is Southgate, might get a Euro too.
It'll be like with Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
What?
He didn't contribute to a Champions League,
not all the medals, though.
World Cup, anything like that. But he is a winner, so
Well, it's like the goalkeeper for the third string goalkeeper for City. Remember last season he got into the cup so he could get that medal.
He got 3 Champions League, mind you.
Yeah.
Who, Ortega?
No,
the third stringer from last season. He was he's like 39 or something, 40. Scott Carson. He's
the assistant goalkeeping coach too.
Yeah.
Player coach, gotta love it.
No, that was awesome. Y'all remember that from last season? Pep got him in just so he could get the medal in the cup. Yeah, that was classy. It was a classy touch. I thought that.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm trying to block out last season and the last 3 weeks. So
you can't block out life, man. You got to go forward.
That's fair. And so City, turn it around at Luton. Stop the skid. Do not go 5 games without a win for the first time in Pep's career, or at least in his Manchester City career. I'm not so sure about that in the other ones, but back to winning ways for the citizens. You hate to see it. Well, some of us at least. Speaking of results you really just hate to see. Goodison Park was just not a good place for the Chelsea Blues on Sunday. Guys.
We didn't look blue, we looked green.
It was. I couldn't tell because at the beginning I thought it was white, but then I looked closer.
No, it's white.
It's like a mint green.
No, it's
not white.
No, you mean our jerseys. No,
our jersey is like a neon.
No, we played white. We played like we had already given up. We played like we surrendered. We played like we have no freaking identity.
It was like a neon.
I love the jerseys. I thought they were cool. I was like, man, I might buy one of those. Not after that. I'm not.
Let's start with the only positive I think I could find in the game was Disasi and Badiashile as a combo don't look half bad.
No, I like that setup. And I mean, they're both French. Right. They both played together at a youth level. So I mean, I think there's some camaraderie there. But yeah,
bro.
Nothing else other than that to be happy about.
That's it, dude.
I thought Enzo was again pretty good, but he's kind of getting hung out to dry. And I mean, he should have scored a goal. First off, I agree 100%.
If he bangs this in the 15th, Patrick, if he bangs this in the 15th, this game's over.
That
It's
rebound
over.
one. That rebound one.
He's got to put that on frame. I agree 100%.
Bro, oh my God. I know 8th graders that put that back on frame.
Let's not be too harsh.
First off,
That was a tough chance.
He should put it on frame. I will agree with that.
He has him beat. On frame. Anywhere else on goal on the second rebound off that shot, he hasn't beat. The keeper's gone. He's already made his choice. All you got to do is put it to the other side. Laps. You know how many laps Enzo's running? He's running 110 million laps because that's what you cost the club, and you miss a goal like that. You miss Everton. These boys are about to get relegated.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
Everton won't get relegated.
Catch another 10, they're getting relegated.
You know they're undefeated. They've not undefeated, excuse me. They've won every game since the deduction.
Yeah.
And without that deduction, they're in front of you guys.
In front of us, and that's embarrassing, bro. That's embarrassing.
They
Our club
have a system. They
can
play
buy their
together.
new stadium.
They play with heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
that was very, very obvious on Sunday
morning at 9 a.m. ruined my whole day. The
whole Sunday is just trash.
So I told my wife on Friday, I said, okay, Clemson basketball plays. So Clemson soccer played Friday night. Clemson basketball played on Saturday. And I said, you know what? Chelsea's going to ruin my weekend. I said, and then it's going to follow up with the Carolina Panthers, ruining it even more. And a loss. I was right.
First of all, sir, wait a minute.
Yeah, why are you cheering for the Panthers? Aren't they 1-11?
Listen, I've been a fan of the Panthers since they were announced as a team.
Look, my mom watched them build Ericsson Stadium, and yes, I remember when it was Ericsson Stadium. Like I was born in Charlotte. I know all about some Carolina Panthers. Terrible. Terrible.
I went to that first game at Clemson. It's just part of me.
They suck.
Awful.
They're terrible.
They're so bad.
But it's kind of funny. There are parallels to the two franchises right now. There are a lot of parallels. You've got a lot of money involved, but the front office doesn't seem to be able to make the right decisions.
That's because our front, we lack so many things at this club. Because we lost it. We either got rid of it, we fired it, or we lost it. We lost our leadership in the locker room. There is none. I love Reece James to death. I love him to death. I'd fight for him to stay at the club.
And now injured.
Stay at the club. Again, now injured. He's not a leader. He's an amazing player when healthy. He's not a leader.
Well, is it time to have that conversation like we had recently with Thomas Partey, where I was just like, you know what? If you're not ever gonna be on the pitch.
We should have sold him what did I say at the beginning or right at the end of last season? I said I hate saying this, but the one thing I would do to save this club is cash out on Reece James, $80 million to the club at the beginning of the season because I don't trust his wellness to make it 90+ matches and get us through a season.
I mean, is he even damaging his value at this point?
Yes, because every other club's going to say the same thing they were all worried about. Now it's just confirmed. He cannot stay fit for a season-long match. You want to play him in the Champions League for 11 games? Be my guest. He might make it to the end. You want to play him in the Premier League in the marathon to 30, 40 games plus if you make it in the domestic tournaments? He's not going to do it for you. He's not our captain, and that's why we're losing games. Bro, we have no identity. There is not a single player on that pitch that can confirm what is Chelsea Football Club. No one goes out there and plays like it's Chelsea Football Club. Our strikers can't keep it together. Cole Palmer is probably our best player, and he came in, 16 games ago now?
And he's gone off the boil a little bit.
He's probably the most cool, calm, and collected player we have in the entire lineup. Raheem Sterling's a child. Reece James can't stay healthy and lead the club. Thiago Silva can't lead the club because he's too old and he knows it. Badia Shields too new. Fofana's too injured. He's been at the club since he was a kid. Injured. Every opportunity we have to build ourselves is either in the hospital or got fired or left with Tommy Tuchel, bro. Todd Boehly is the worst thing that has happened to this club, bar none, since England barred Roman from doing anything with it. This is
First off,
worse.
Fofana left the club and went to Leicester for like 4 years. But I know that he came through a little bit through the youth system for a while. And I mean, if we really want to get into it, there are so many players who the Premier League at this point that have gone through our youth system. It's insane. That said, I kind of want to back up real quick. So
Cobham's the best in the world. Cobham has been the best in the world.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said
He was just
Cobham
agreeing
has
about the
been,
academy.
or is the best. Yes, our academy is the best, if not the top 2 or 3 in the world.
Most definitely. Most definitely. But I did want to back up a little bit. So I think the concern is they don't want to sell Reece because they know the talent there, and they know that if he ever gets healthy, they're going to rue the day that they let him walk out the door at age 23. He's maybe 24 now.
24 now.
24
he just
now.
had a birthday. Just had a birthday.
Yeah.
Got injured.
So they're going to rue the day that he walked out the door and he goes and plays for City. Or he goes
Sell him
and
to
plays
Bayern. Sell him to Bayern.
I mean,
we'll never play him. We'll never play him again. In the entire time he's healthy or alive, we'll never play him again. Not with Todd Boehly and not with Clear Lake at the helm of all of this train wreck. We'll never play him again.
You know, the funny thing is that I agree with the idea that you have, Patrick. But I mean, in the same space, because people like to use the Mo Salah, Kevin De Bruyne thing. If we kept them, but first of all, none of them developed that way, staying together. So we got to be realistic about that because Hazard was there, and Hazard literally stunts both of their growth because of where he was at that time.
Actually, Oscar stunted KDB's more than Hazard.
Yeah. And then Oscar is not even close. But
I think Oscar went to China.
The point being is that there were players in front of them who were performing at the time where Chelsea is a win now club, so you can't do it. Reece is one. Yes, he's good and he has the potential to be world class, but he's not producing anything. So why hold on to the guy when you can probably? And I'm not saying you need the money, but you might be able to get somebody to replace him to play that position and maybe find another leader. So I just think, I agree with X. And he's been about it.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but let's now take a step back and look at how many people are injured inside the club. How many players? I mean, right off the top of my head, 12, 13. And again, I'm not blaming injuries by any means. It's more so the idea of, okay, we sell Reece. We know what we have in him in terms of talent. We sell Reece. We bring somebody else in. Malo Gusto was brought in as a backup for him. He can't stay healthy, right? So they're talking about selling him and getting somebody to replace him. So, I mean, it's a vicious cycle. And that's why I said on Sunday, this is more than just players at this point.
Oh, yeah.
It's front office, it's back office, it's coaching. At some point, we got to point the finger at Pochettino and say, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. What are you doing?
Has the same record as Graham Potter, mind you.
Graham Potter's is actually better. You can't. Yeah, exactly. You can't tell me that.
I think by a point. I think you're right. It's 16-15 or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that you look at that lineup and you can't find 2 goals out of it.
I have a question before we answer that question. So does that mean that the vacations to the pool and all the Graham Potter fun time actually wasn't bad? Is that what we're saying right now? Because I just want to make sure, because I'll go get the beach ball and the masseuses, and we can go back to ski trip.
No, because what that did was set my man Frank Lampard up to take the fall like a scapegoat because he had to run the boys for 90. He had to run the team half the practice and couldn't get anything done because they're all unfit to play. He literally said these boys aren't fit to play 90 minutes of football.
And they're still not fit to play, so who's at fault then?
And I agree. I think physio, because so many are injured, they're scared to actually push these boys into full fitness because God forbid anyone else get injured. But again, bro, I'm sorry. This is the nature of the game. If you cannot stay healthy, I do not care how good you are. You are no good to me in the hospital. If you have to stay there 2 seasons, I love Wesley Fofana. Love him to death. If he cannot come back next season, bye. I need someone who can play center back to win me a game or two, get us back into Europe, get us back into championships, get us back into the Champions League where we belong. That's what I need. I don't need, and that takes health. I don't care if you're bad. I don't care if you're Pierre Mertesacker and can't run 40 yards down the field in 5 minutes.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I don't care. At least
watch yourself.
That's why I don't mind Thiago Silva. You know why I don't mind Thiago Silva? Because at least he's healthy enough to actually be out there and play a full 90. Reece James can't do it at 24. Thiago can do it at 39. This is baffling to me.
So here's my question. That begs the question. You know, I'm sure you heard Poch say that maybe they need to spend some more money in the transfer window after that $1 billion spent. But here's my thing. Here's my thing, though. Todd Bowley and Clear Lake have just spent $700 million. Yeah, okay. I know that it's this weird deal. It's this weird deal. But they have promised him that money, and maybe not till
2034
to 2043 or whatever it is. Yeah, you know, but if Bowley's gonna be around for that long, and he's already tied up all that money in the Dodgers, I know they've got money coming out of their ears, but does that inspire you to think that he's going to do what Poch is asking and dump even more money into Chelsea?
Has to. With the buyout, the only reason Boyle won was Roman's clause into what has to be invested in the next 10 years into the club, both stadium and player.
I was going to say, isn't that mostly the stadium, though?
No.
Not the way they're doing it. If we have to relocate Stamford Bridge, it's going to get eaten. But that's why the main focus is to rebuild what we have, because we don't own Stamford Bridge.
Well, won't it just be a circus if you rip up some of these long-term deals to sell guys so that you can bring in other guys?
Nothing
like
long-term's being terminated. We're talking about Cucurella. He's on a normal contract. We're talking about Gusto, who's on a normal contract. We're talking about Trevor Chalobah, who's pure profit. We're talking about players who, if Connor leaves, I swear to God, I will not watch another game this season. I'm sorry, I just won't. I've been a Conor Gallagher supporter since before the summer. I like the way he hustles for the club. If he leaves, again, identity issues. That's
literally the only reason he's had the band is because of how much he works.
Because he's the only one who will do it for the bat, for the club, for the bat. He knows what it means to be at Chelsea. He's been born, bred. He's been there longer than James, or just as much.
Just as long, yeah.
Bro, he's the last shot we have at actually confirming, like having this sense of who we are. That's it. It goes out the window if Gallagher and James aren't on this field. I'm sorry, it just does. And it's going to be a very hard pill for me to swallow. Like, I think Tammy Abraham in the club right now is way better than Jackson and Broha. We screwed ourselves so much selling these academy players. Look at where Tomori is, bro. You want a center back who can give you Champions League games? Look at what Tomori is doing for Milan. Played all the way to almost a championship game. Should have probably been there over Inter. Probably would have performed better. Like, bro, Roma goes to a final. Bro, like, it is not. We screwed ourselves when we had to balance our books because England truly, the FA screwed us when they cut Roman out of this club. That's
You're never going to let that one go, are you?
No, because look how far this set us back. Like,
I hear you.
Lampard built these academy players up. Look at what they are able to do. And we said it before we even, like, to not even overshadow this Everton stuff. It is a true Chelsea problem. And I agree with Patrick. It's top down. It's top down. And it's not going to quit. There's no hope in sight because if we buy more players, now we're throwing more inconsistency around. Pochettino, the only reason I'm not calling for Pochettino to be out is because at least I can see development. Mudryk making runs downfield. How poor he might be, how bad it might be, he's confident, he's developing. We can see it. We can see that. We can see Cucurella getting better. We can see these Caicedo getting better. We can see Enzo.
Can you, though? Caicedo's been terrible.
Caicedo gets overran without the consistency.
He's been
without
terrible.
The consistency needed to build around the midfield.
Well, so let's talk about working though. So the first goal, who's at fault for it?
Was that the one where was it Enzo that didn't work back, or am I thinking of last week?
Conor Gallagher.
It was Gallagher?
Yeah, remember? He got nudged off the ball. He tried to pull make a foul.
He tries to pull him down, yeah.
And he gets shrugged off, and then he pretty much is just jogging back at that point. And Levi Colwell, listen, I know you're playing out of position. I know you are. I know that there's this attempt to get you on the pitch because you're the future, and I think there's something there. But I think it's as a left center back. It's not as a left back. And
you like him better than DeSassi?
See, that's the problem though, because I would rather okay, in a perfect world, you're gonna have when Thiago leaves, which I figure will be at the end of this year, if Fofana is healthy. If Fofana is healthy, Fofana and either Badiashile or Colwell on the left, and you've got DeSassi and Fofana on the right.
Okay, sure.
That's a pretty strong nucleus of 4
center
defense.
backs.
That's one reason why Shaloba is being kind of offered out. I think that their concern, again, kind of going back to the concern, they let Tomori go, and they could do the same thing with Colwell, but they're gonna regret it. We've seen what he can do at Brighton when he was getting consistent play as a left center back, not as a left back, but as a left center back. And that's one thing that I kind of get really, really frustrated with Poach at this point is he's playing people in positions that they don't need to be playing in. He's consistently doing this. And I understand injuries. I get it. But consistently doing it over and over again. It's the whole idea of, insanity, just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's what's happening. And that's where I get frustrated the most with Poach, because it's like, hey, I understand that there are some things that are just going wrong right now, but you should be able to take that team sheet and say, hey, this team can go win any single day that I put them out there because I've put them in the right position to win.
Yep.
Now, if they don't perform to that level, then that falls on the players. But I don't even think he's setting them up to be successful at this point.
So let me ask you this. If you lose next week, I don't know if you've looked at the fixture list.
Yeah, it's
bad. You have Sheffield at home.
Palace.
I'm telling you right.
If you lose to Sheffield,
and it's funny, right, Jake? Like here's the crux to it. And that's the exact opposite of kind of where I was like, it's night and day. And that's honestly, I love being a Chelsea fan because it's always been
chaos.
Nice, right? We're either top of the league or we're fighting relegation for about.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, right.
There's drama. It's
all the time.
But listen, like if we win last week. And if we beat United and beat Everton, we are in a completely different that's how mad I really am about this, is because last season we saw this breaking point in the season. And we go, look, if we win these next 2, we can set ourselves up to really contend for something that can set us up to be successful, especially as a young team. And you dropped the ball twice. And I agree with Patrick 100%. I think both lineups probably weren't the best given the circumstances. I did like the Jackson sit because you gave him his shot at United and he missed time and sitter after sitter and after 1-on-1s and 2-on-1s. You're not playing next week, bro. I don't care how good you were in practice. You're just not playing next week. Like, but here in the Everton Chelsea game, like, I just do not agree with playing. And I agree with Patrick, man. I don't care how good you are at center mid or center back. You're not playing my left back position because you're not a left back. I'm not playing Cristiano Ronaldo at left back just because he's one of the greatest soccer players in the world. Like, I don't care if you're that good at where you play. It cannot, and it's just something about the game. It doesn't translate all the time, man. It just doesn't.
It's not FIFA.
Right.
Are you worried about Sheffield? Because you can't break down a low
I'm
block.
not worried about Sheffield. We're at the bridge. We show up at the bridge no matter who we're playing.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't show up against Forest.
I mean, we do play down.
Villa,
We do play
West
down.
Ham.
Well,
No,
Villa, we played well until the red card
against Villa. Come
on Gusto. Remember?
That's fair.
And again, we're young, like, bro. We're so young. Like, we're so young.
I mean, is it
for a minute? Connor goes in for that challenge. That Gusto goes in for that challenge. That Reese does what he does. That to miss the United game. If we had a true leader like John Terry on the field who's going to rip you out of your shorts if you make a boneheaded move like that and cost us the game. There's no one on the squad like that. There is no one in that locker room that'll do that. And that might be on Thiago. And that honestly, to me, is on Thiago. And I said it last season. I said it at the beginning of last season as well. Thiago,
do you think that maybe
going to get, and he does not lead this team anymore because he got what he came for. He came for Champions League. He got it. He's just collecting money. And it's so sad.
do you think that it's time to drop Caicedo or Enzo?
I mean, you know me. I've already voiced my opinion on this.
Or both?
It's Enzo. For me, the first one dropped is Enzo. Yes.
See, I dropped Caicedo before Enzo.
Is Ogachukwu, is he healthy?
No.
Because would be your natural replacement for Caicedo.
Chuka and
Chuka is not healthy. We're waiting for Lavia to come back or play.
So you actually just don't have anybody.
You don't have anybody.
Even though they're playing horribly.
No. I mean, people talk about the squad being bloated, and it is. I'm not saying it's not. But when you start looking at the actual bench that is being thrown out there right now, there's not enough players. Nope. There's just not. There are so many that are injured that, and again, I'm not excusing injuries, making that as an excuse. We're terrible right now. There's no other way to put it. We're terrible.
Terrible.
But you can't fix the issue if you have to keep playing the same players because there's nobody behind them.
Yep.
I mean, I'd have to go back and look the lineup, but there was one recently where we had 3 under-18s on the bench.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
And three under-18s are playing with the first team in training right now. Dude. So it's not like
and Jackson's banned now. Jackson's gonna catch a 5.
Yeah,
Jackson might not play the rest of the season, bro.
How does my man not catch a ban and Rodri gets out for he didn't get anything. He's not going to get any retrospective action. He's not going to get anything. I'm sure.
Jackson's being investigated by the
Jackson won't get anything.
No, they said they weren't going to do it.
They already come out and said they weren't going to do nothing, which is insane. If Rodri gets a 3-match ban,
and Rodgers,
that's crazy.
That's
nuts.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
Well, you also got to think he's about to go to Aston anyways.
They don't charge him.
But they won't care about that. They'll still make him skip. They'll still make him sit out games if they do decide to ban him.
No, I'm talking about him not playing for the rest of the year. He's about to go to AFCON anyways. So I mean,
yeah, Well, AFCON doesn't last that long.
How does he not catch a ban?
3 weeks?
So I just saw this statement and it's salty Klopp, which is kind of funny, but it's not. So apparently Liverpool miss out on signing Caicedo and Lavia to Chelsea in August, and December Liverpool are in first while Chelsea are in 12th. And Klopp says, "We found out in the summer that defensive midfielders don't want to join Liverpool, and then you see what happens."
I saw that.
You know what? Yeah. You give me Mo Salah, Jota,
you did have
Noodles, and
yeah, you did.
And you didn't have that Mo Salah. You stopped. That Mo Salah.
I mean, if we had somebody who could put the ball in the back of the net like they do, it would be different. But I get what he's saying. But
he's Sterling, bro. I don't want to hear it from you, Klopp.
I'm fired.
I've thought for a while that their defensive midfield's gonna affect them.
They don't need it.
It doesn't matter.
They don't need
it. It doesn't matter.
You skip it 90% of the game anyway.
First, you got Van Dijk actually playing.
They're gonna need one in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they might need one.
And you got Allison Becker playing
out
of his mind.
Actually, that's
out of his mind. We'll get to Liverpool. We'll get to Liverpool.
Becker is bar none. I'm sorry, Lewis. That is the best keeper in the league, bro.
He's having a better season for sure. We'll get there. We'll get there.
But
we'll get there.
My point being is the team doesn't gel together, and it's not about them not playing together because they consistently it's the same lineup. You know, there might be a change here and there, but it's consistently the same lineup.
Hey, I got a random question. Did you just say something about Flamini X? Didn't he say something about him? Who did he say? It was an Arsenal player you defended, Jake.
Per Mertesacker?
Because I was looking in like a random, your phone listens to you because it says Flamini is worth $12 billion now.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't.
He's got he has a company that has something to do with getting rid of waste. Like he has, some kind of like getting rid of awesome. and he's one of the richest. So he's one of the richest soccer players in all of history, but not because of soccer.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. But hey, I have some good memories. My last memory of Matthew Flamini was him beating Spurs in the cup with a volley out of nowhere. Not something you expected him to ever do. But I remember Mr. Flamini quite well from his time with the Arsenal. And
you're right. He didn't get a ban.
Yeah,
he avoids retrospective.
I saw it.
The last thing I saw this morning was that they were investigating it. I was like, "Oh, dude, my dude's done."
Well, this was as of 2 hours ago.
That's awesome.
Nah, he's fine.
He's
fine, and
that's
that's big for Chelsea for sure.
He almost broke my dude's shred. Like he doesn't just choke; he he's
going for the Darth Vader force choke. Like he's going for it, man, for sure. But not going to see anything.
What Chelsea has to do going forward is they've got to decide: are we going to rely on the Raheem Sterlings of the world, or are we going to go with the Mudricks, the Maduekis, those guys, the younger group? Because every time that Sterling doesn't start, it feels like he's just running out there to run out there. Now, when he starts, he puts in the effort. And that's great, but it only happens for 2-3 games, and then it falls off.
Yep.
And
man, it's leadership. It's give me a 23-year-old that's a leader. I think he changes all of this.
But you just gave a solution. So play him for 2 games and then sit.
and then sit him.
Exactly. Yeah. But it looks like that Madueke is gonna leave, and I don't approve of it. I think he's got a lot of talent and a lot of skill. But come to find out, he was at Tottenham and Poach didn't like him there either.
Well, now he's carrying a career-changing injury as well.
Poach needs to go get some of his Spurs guys. So just go get Sonny and Kane, and you fix all your problems.
I was hoping you were gonna avoid saying Dele Alli too, because
come on now.
I'm come on now.
Mal made sure
he's still in the league, by the way.
Where's he at now?
He's still at Everton, I think.
He's at Everton?
I think so.
I thought he went to Forest.
No. I think he's still on the books at Everton, Dele Alli.
Well, that's fine.
Absolutely. Well, while you're looking that up, we'll go ahead and move on. Chelsea do have a week to recover, and they do have Sheffield at home. So hopefully it'll be a more positive, more positive discussion next Monday. But speaking of things you didn't really want to watch, the Arsenal have gone to Aston Villa. Not an easy place to go this season. And I thought we put in a good performance, though. I thought we played well. I thought we created well. I thought we defended well, won all the second balls. I thought we pressed really well. We just didn't finish. Straight up. Yeah. We did everything else. Did not finish our dinner.
Which is unlike y'all.
Yeah, is it though? If you look at literally every game we've played this season, we've been defensively sound, bar the Luton game where we just didn't take them seriously. We have been defensively sound, and we've played well. And that's the same with this game. Villa put it on us for 10 minutes, 16 minutes or whatever, scored their goal, and didn't do another thing. Didn't do another thing for the rest of the game.
They definitely got under y'all's skin with the
time wasting from the 16th minute?
Time.
Literally immediately you go up a goal and Emi Martinez immediately starts time wasting. Yes, that was incredibly frustrating.
Central American CONCACAF CONMEBOL,
and they took an eternity on every single throw-in, corner kick, goal kick, an eternity. But you know what it is? You know what it is? No one in this freaking league can back themselves to play with Arsenal. To actually play the game with Arsenal. So they're going to bring these freaking tactics. They're going to bring this frustration. Let's frustrate them. Let's not actually have the ball in play.
I mean,
let's kick the ever-loving crap out of them because they're not going to protect Bukayo Saka. They're just not going to do it. The referees are going to refuse to protect the Arsenal every single game. So you know what? Let's bring these tactics. That's what the Newcastle game all over again. It's not about playing. It's not about actually trying to play around the Arsenal because no one can do it because we defend better than everybody. City couldn't get past us. Villa couldn't get past us one time. They put together one good passage of play the whole game.
I mean,
it's just freaking tactics, man, that no one wants to play ball against us. Everybody's scared. It's ridiculous.
Well, hold on. So I'll say this, and I agree to a degree. But if you recall, when City were in their ascension and peak, nobody wanted to play ball against them either. Now they didn't get fouled like you did
because y'all are huge. We're not huge. Y'all have big dudes.
You're receiving the same treatment that City received, so it's a compliment. And Arteta was around while it happened, so he should know or strategize for something he's already seen as a manager.
I feel like Unai knew exactly what to do here. Saying it's tactically driven, but I think Unai we've seen.
Oh no, it's a tactic.
You said it.
Definitely.
The Newcastle game was the blueprint for how do you beat or get up underneath Arsenal's skin to the point
and I'm being honest because Liverpool is not going to do that, but I can't wait to see Arsenal and Liverpool.
I think it's
they didn't get under our skin. Last season, Granit Xhaka would have been sent off in this game.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. Yeah. We stuck with our game plan. We stuck with our tactics. You know why? It was working. The fact that Arteta wasn't on the sideline didn't make a difference. Didn't mean anything at all. You notice that we didn't make a substitution until like the 75th minute, 76th minute or something like that, because what we were doing was working. We should have won that game 4-1. There were 4 clear-cut chances. Odegaard should have 2. Unforgivable. The one where Kai plays it across to him and you've missed it is unforgivable.
Yeah.
I would have scored. And then the one where he's in the box and he dribbles past the guy, why are you trying to play it to the goalkeeper's right when the other side is gaping?
Just cut it.
And you're left-footed.
Yeah.
It's just it's a natural shot for you to just cut it back the other way. Come on, Martin. Bro.
That contract is in there. He's like, well,
I got my bag, so
my bag might get a little lighter. And
oh my God, man!
And I have to make sure my Rolex, because I'm saying, he might have a Rolex on his ankle, and that's
the gold. It's the gold tipped laces. They're actual gold, so they just weigh a little heavier. So it's like he couldn't cut it.
But the thing is, Jake, I hear you, man. I mean, I understand that, and and while it's not funny, you do have to laugh and say, like, what are you doing, right? Because there was plenty of chances. I'm like, what are they doing?
It was bad.
But you know, it's something you got to eat and use that as your fuel. Of you should have beat him. That means when you get him next time, you punch him in the face.
Yeah, when they come.
Oh, I think we'll smash him at the Emirates.
Yeah.
I think Martinelli has had his worst game that I've ever seen him play. I don't for the life of me know. For the first time in recent memory, our wingers were not double teamed. For the first time I can think of this season, since we beat Wolves 5-0 at the end of last season, is the last time a team didn't double up on Saka and Martinelli. Why have we not just attacked Matty Cash all day long? Go at him and at him and at him and at him. It took Martinelli 70 minutes to get Luka Dean a yellow card, and then he's been hooked. Like, go at the guy. They're not. I couldn't believe that. And then when Martinelli is in on goal, he has the opportunity to chip Martinez or to tap it over him and go around him for your own tap in, but you chose neither, and you kind of hit it into the middle or nobody. Like we were horrendous in front of goal. We were
y'all made Emmy look good.
We were very good in the rest of the game. Our press is, you can see they are very comfortable with our press, with our defending. They're very comfortable. Countless times we did exactly what we do in the press. We squeezed it back to Martinez, and he had to launch one forward. And while Saliba looked a little bit shaky in possession a couple of times, he had Ollie Watkins in his pocket. Watkins didn't do anything. And we won all the second balls. We pinned them in. We did everything right, bar the finishing. And even Martinez said we were the better team. They had to suffer. We made them suffer. And at the end of the day, while I want to rage and storm at some of the refereeing decisions, you can't. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's a penalty because you've given a penalty in the Palace game to Liverpool for the same thing.
5 minutes later, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, it was a minute and 13 seconds. It was a minute and 38 seconds.
For yours.
No. I watched Palace Liverpool live. It was a minute and 38 seconds. They came back over the commentators came back and said it was a minute and 38 seconds. But that doesn't matter. The play was the same. Mm-hmm. They've been kicked in the back of the leg. Clear and obvious, just like Arteta said in the post-match. Clear and obvious. That is a penalty. If it's a penalty in the Liverpool game, it's a penalty in the Arsenal game. Now, if you would have said that neither were a penalty,
sure,
or both were a penalty, I'm happy with either. I'm happy with either decision. You know,
I feel for both. I feel for, like, I get it. If you get to the ball first, you win the call. Like, that's just always been my mentality, even playing as well. Like,
Jesus did.
I know. I know.
What?
That's what I'm saying. Is like,
well, I mean, it kind of goes. I didn't mention this in the Chelsea segment, but it kind of goes back to what I was complaining about with Mikalenko. He runs through Raheem in the box as he's about to take a shot, and they're looking at a handball. They don't even look at that. Like,
speaking of handballs,
on the officiating, he's gotten worse this year.
If Raheem Sterling's is a handball earlier this season, again, Kai's is too.
Speaking of handballs, Kai handballed it. Matty Cash didn't handball it first. How dumb is the rule that if it's an accidental handball on a defender, we then go into this BS conversation about natural positions and whatnot. Right. If it's a handball
Yep.
If it's an accidental handball on the forward, and then the forward scores the goal,
yeah,
doesn't matter the nature of the play of the handball, the natural position. None of that crap matters. Automatic handball. What kind of BS double standard rule is that?
Well,
it's not the referees; it's the rule. That's just stupid rule.
That's always been like
that is a dumb rule. And in the VAR audio, the commentators said that the refs just didn't know. They just didn't know what to call the play. They didn't know what to say about the play. They didn't know because they're clueless. And so they just decided, because we can't get our thumbs out of our butts, we are just going to go with the one on the field. So if the referee on the field would have given that as a goal, it stands. Because they're clueless, because they have no freaking clue what they're doing. But at the end of the day, none of that matters.
Yeah.
None of it matters. We still, without all of that, should have won this game. And so while, I am incensed at the refereeing decisions, I'm used to that. And I know that's coming. And just like I said in my match reaction, what's the point of getting worked up about it anymore? Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen to Chelsea again this season. It's going to happen to City again this season. Yep. And it's going to happen to Arsenal again this season. I'm resigned to that fact. But, at the end of the day, if you don't finish your dinner, you can't
be given 7
say anything
and be like, oh, we lost 1-0 because of a PK that should have been getting. Nah, bro, you missed 17 shots on goal.
Absolutely. Right. We missed at least three goals. Should have 100% had at least 3. So yeah.
I agree.
At the end of the day, credit Aston Villa, credit Unai Emery. Definitely ground out a result. And they're taking scalps, man. Looking big. I think that as far as people getting gassed about their title hopes, their away form is going to be their downfall in that regard. But tough to beat at home, dude. They're going to win the Conference League, so they're going to be in Europa League, anyway. No problem.
Yeah, they'll be in anyway.
Yeah,
does that mean we get another? No, it doesn't. We did this last year when West Ham won. The spot doesn't move down like it does.
Right.
Remember, there could be 5 Champions League spots.
There is going to be 5.
Yeah, because of coefficients.
So it will already move down, but
it doesn't drop to the next one just because they win in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not really too worried about the result, to be honest with you. We're still in second place. And we play Liverpool in 2 weeks' time. We got a absolute dead rubber match is what I've been hearing it called on Tuesday. Tomorrow play PSV. Like we were saying earlier in the City segment, I'm going to give Arteta a call after the pod and see if we can't get on the pitch for this one.
Fly me out, bro.
Hey, the Cup Chasers, we'll just be the back line. We'll just play.
When I hit a volley,
X will be a left wing back. He'll be the left wing back going forward.
No, I'm not coming back on defense. They might score. So I'm just going to play the actual I'm not playing defense.
We won't see him at all.
You won't see me at all if y'all are on the back line. I'll just wave. I'll see.
He will never cross the halfway line.
No,
well, Patrick can help with the goalkeeping issue at Arsenal. He'll just slot in for the PSV game. Because that's another one. Raya has just not been better than Ramsdale.
Where, bro?
I think that I'm not going to say that the goal that he could have done better on the goal. It's point blank. You know who could have done better on the goal? Ben White.
Gosh, yes. I
disgraceful.
Just rewatched it 3 times to see exactly what he's got.
Ben White's last two games, atrocious.
Do you think he's worried? Do you think
you've been crap, bro?
Is it the Tomiyasu absence?
No, I think that honestly, what my gut instinct, when I first, in the middle of the game, I thought, Man, were you that pissed that you got dropped for Tomiyasu 3 games ago? And now since he got dropped, well, it wasn't necessarily he got dropped. He was injured for a minute, and then Tomiyasu had a really good spell right before his injury, and then White comes back in, and are you like mad? Because he was awful against Luton, dude, terrible against Luton, giving people all kinds of space, like giving people the freedom of the 18-yard box, and on this one, like, throw your body at it. Just throw everything you have at it. He puts his foot down, his right foot down, like he's thinking it's going to be a pass right at him. Dude, just throw it, anything and everything you got at it. You know what I mean?
Terry, man. John Terry, you got to throw your face in front of the ball with your hand.
Like Ben White and Zinchenko, honestly, in that first half were shocking.
Do you think you honestly keep Zinchenko for much longer?
Definitely, of course, because in the second half, you see why he's in the team. It's because of what he offers going forward. And in the second half, I thought it was very, very good. Does he defend well at all? No, he doesn't. But we're resigned to that fact. And the way our system works, Gabriel does all of the work on the left-hand side of our defense. If say Mo Salah, Mo Salah will get in behind Zinchenko. That's going to happen. Just is what it is. Gabriel will be the man to slot over. So the matchup won't be Salah Zinchenko. Zinchenko will probably just leave him. He's just, I'm not keeping up with him. So
excuse me, I'm not running back with him. I'm done.
Yeah. So it'll be Gabriel. The matchup will be how Gabriel does on Salah.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as this game, like I say, is what it is. It's really, really tight up at the top of the table, and I was never under any illusion that we were going to just blast every team, win every game, be dominant in every single game, and so, I'm encouraged by the performance. You can't be mad at the performance. Definitely be pissed at the finishing. But
welcome to the Chelsea life, baby.
Yeah, but we got a dead game in the week, and then a struggling Brighton visit the Emirates. Hopefully we can find our scoring boots there. But like I said, for tomorrow, I honestly hope we see the U18s. I doubt it. It's probably going to be, Eddie, Trossard. We'll probably see Reece Nelson. Smith Rowe's been training, so maybe we'll see him. Ethan Nwaneri is a youngster on the U18s who put 5 past some team yesterday. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in there. I don't want to see Saliba. I don't want to see Odegaard. I don't want to see Rice. Hell, I'd even see Carl Hein. Like, you don't even need to play Ramsdale for this game,
So what is your reaction if he plays a strong starting 11?
He will. I don't think he's gonna play. I don't think he's gonna pull a Wenger and play the academy team like we've seen Arsene Wenger do, in meaningless Champions League games. But I think it's a good opportunity to see if somebody wants to, step up. I think Havertz will play. I think it'll be Havertz, Trossard, Eddie and Nketiah will play. Jorginho will play. El Neni will probably play. I'd like to see Cedric and Kivior. We have a guy named Walters can play at left back. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I think it'll be semi-strong. But if Saka plays, I'll be pissed. Martinelli plays, pissed. Saliba plays, pissed. Odegaard, pissed.
Those are season-changing.
Yeah. Like, the literal only thing that can happen to affect our season in this game is to take an injury.
Yep. And
nothing else.
And you already know from last year, and I'll stand by this till probably the day I die. You lost the league when you lost Gabriel.
Saliba,
I'm sorry.
But it was because we also lost Tomiyasu at the same time.
Yep.
If Tommy doesn't go down at the same time, it's not as. I don't think.
I'm not
going to say we beat City, but I think we beat
Different run.
Southampton, and I think we
Different
beat
run.
West Ham.
Right, it's a different run.
And if it's Tommy instead of Zinni at Anfield, maybe he doesn't get megged. Maybe we hold that one out.
That's honestly, that's one of the first things I'm going to ask for you when we die and we get the playback. I'm going to be like, yo, show me the alternate universe in 2022 where my man didn't get hurt and how the league finishes. I want to watch that one.
Well, maybe we're watching it this season.
No, we're not. No. Neither of y'all are winning the league.
Neither of us are winning the league? What, you think Liverpool's about to win? Is that what you're telling me?
No, if they beat y'all,
long season.
Huge.
It's a long season. It's a long season. Yeah. But that's definitely a massive game in a couple of weeks. And we'll definitely be there for the preview. I'll be here for the preview, I should say. But now we're going to
go to, bro.
Absolutely.
That would be
absolutely. Massive. But I think it's definitely time that we move on to our favorite segment on the pod.
It's not when we
Old Trafford is falling down.
Well, I thought it was when we bring up Kai Havertz and how bad he's doing for you.
No, Havertz was halfway decent in the Arsenal game. He was actually one of our better players, but
this just makes us honestly. I'm not even happy about this. I'm not as happy as I should be about this.
It makes your result look so bad.
It makes us look so bad.
Both
weeks, it makes us look worse when we lost to them, and it makes us look even worse because we lost to Everton. Like
this year was a number of. I'm going to take just a second to pop up the predictions table because this was one of the results this weekend that really messed up our predictions. We got goose eggs on this prediction here, but Patrick is still up on top with 174 points. Lewis in second with 168. Yeah, they've opened up a nice gap on us there at the bottom, X. We got some work to do.
I want everyone to go back and watch last week. I heavily debated on this one. Heavily debated on not picking United. Heavily.
You didn't want to. That is true.
You didn't want to. You did pick a draw. You did pick a draw because you didn't want to.
Because I hate them so much. But I couldn't pick them to lose.
Okay, so in this window, this was the 10 o'clock window on Saturday. I was watching Brighton and Burnley.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that one as well. Very good game. I was watching that, and in the 13th minute, the little thing at the top of the USA broadcast where it's showing you the other scores. Yeah. It was the 13th minute, and it said Bournemouth 1, United 0. I switched. I changed it over. Normally, I watch the games on cable because you can't immediately watch the replay. But on Peacock, you can immediately watch replays. So normally, I'm watching whatever's on cable so that I don't have to wait 24 hours to watch it. But I switched it to the United game. They were so bad. Like, how do you... I would be embarrassed. They weren't even... Like, if that's not the most clear evidence that they want Ten Hag out and they think that not playing will get the manager fired, I don't know what is.
Couldn't give us 3 points, though. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Well, no, they hate you. They just don't. They don't care. They don't care about Bournemouth. They'll take a 3-0 to Bournemouth. Whatever. They hate Chelsea. They're not. We're not going to lose to Chelsea.
You're right. They do hate us. Yeah.
We're not going to lose to Chelsea at home. Bournemouth, sure. Yeah, we'll take a loss to Bournemouth at home. We'll take a loss to Palace. Why not? We'll lose to Crystal Palace. Sure.
They even tried to lose to us. They gave us so many 1-on-1s and 2-on-1s. They're like, oh no, y'all just can't finish. Screw you guys.
When you make Dominic Solanke look like Cristiano Ronaldo, what are y'all doing, man? I'm yeah, dude. How many teams are gonna sing that at your ground this summer?
Academy at that.
How many teams are gonna sing that at the United ground this year?
Everyone. Well,
like what? I'm shocked. Mount's healthy again. Where is he?
Hog hates Mount, bro.
Where's he at?
Hates Mount.
He's still playing McTominay. Like what universe? Like Harry Maguire was the Premier League player of the season. Like this team is in 6th place.
Did you see
# farmers, bro? We are the farmers.
Did you see Neville's tweet or X or whatever you call him now? How do you win manager of the month and get sacked in the same
weekend?
Yeah, it was has a manager ever been named manager of the month and been sacked in the same weekend? I was like, bro.
He deserves it. This game right here is a sackable offense.
Yeah.
If Arsenal lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth, I'd be up in arms. I'd be absolutely up in arms, man. In the post-Wenger era, I have received, even in Wenger's last years, I've received some just so much banter, so much in your face, so much ha ha ha, from United fans. Not in our darkest, deepest depths of hell did we lose 3 different matches at home, 3-0. And not in our deepest, darkest depths of despair did we lose to Bournemouth at home. Come on, what? Dumpster Fire FC doesn't even begin. I'm shocked. I've never in my life seen a United team this poor, this bad. They've lost more games at Old Trafford in the post-Fergie era than Sir Alex Ferguson did in 28 years. And when I talk to United fans, I said something to Brian about it, and he's like, "Yeah, it is what it is. That's the state of things these days." What? I was shocked. I was like, "What? That's what it is now?" It's just, we lose to Bournemouth 3-0. Yeah, we lose every week. We lose every week. You're nothing special. We lose every week. And then the Bournemouth fans were in the stands going, "Can we play you every week? Can we play you every week?" I was I would, I don't even have the words for it. I would be so embarrassed.
I mean, bro,
Players that I love and support, or say that I love and support, are playing like that. I mean, Bruno Fernandes gets his 5th yellow on purpose. You're never going to convince me that his petulance, I think it was for kicking the ball away, right?
It's been given 3 different weeks now.
You're going to be out for the next game if you do that. Luke Shaw gets away with it.
Luke Shaw gets away with it, right? He thought because he was wearing a United jersey at United or at Old Trafford that he could get away with it. I think that's truly what that was.
I get it that, it's kind of harsh to make these kinds of statements about it seeming deliberate, and I would love to get on here and talk about integrity, talk about, you as a man not playing for the badge because you want the coach out. But it just feels like we're just going around in circles. They're awful and they don't want to play for the coach, and that is a despicable problem.
Yeah.
That just is a despicable problem. For me, if that's true, and we have no way of proving that, right? But if that's true,
yes,
it looks that way. It definitely looks that way.
If it looks that way, that is the way it is. You look at the boys who want to play for their manager do not play like that. The boys who will go out there and go to war for their manager, the war for their badge, the war for their club and their fans, don't go out there and play like that, man. Doesn't matter who they're playing.
I'm saying if you don't play for the badge every second of every game that you're wearing it, you have forgotten that there are millions of people out here that would give everything they've ever had to be in your position.
I would give you one of my kidneys, and I need both.
Millions. There are so many people on this planet who would die for the opportunity you've been given. Bro, you're getting paid
hundreds of thousands
ridiculous money. There are people starving in the gutter right now, and you're getting paid 300 bags a week to
Every
play
Friday.
a game, and you are going to go out there and not try?
Yep.
Are you serious? That is despicable. It's embarrassing, and it's unacceptable.
Yep.
That is unacceptable. How is it that the manager doesn't do his job, fired? But you guys signed contracts.
Yep.
And you're not putting forth the effort that you said you were going to put forth in the contract because you don't like the manager?
I hope every Chelsea players listen to this as well.
You know how many teachers in school that I didn't like, but you still had to make the grade. You still had to do you know how many bosses I've had? You know how many restaurants I've worked in where I absolutely hated the manager?
Yep.
But you still got to do your job. Like, what kind of integrity are you? You don't have any integrity if you just decide to not do your job. But that's the culture at that club. They've been taught, they've been conditioned, because there are guys there from Rangnick. There are guys there from Ollie. There are guys still there from Mourinho. So they've been taught. Sancho is straight chilling right now.
Making 300 grand
David
a week
Sancho
to play fee. He's not even allowed to practice, bro.
chilling on 300 bags a week, straight chilling. And you know what they've taught him is we're all going to outlast the manager.
Yep, it's the Rashford theory. I know
We're all going to outlast him.
No, I will outlast you. All I have to do is outlast you.
And I think that's absolutely disgusting.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when it's a player-ran club. I mean, we've seen it with Chelsea. It's frustrating because, players will say, well, we don't like this guy, and they just stop playing. But as soon as they change it, it's like,
17-year-olds
we do want to play now.
Don't care.
Huh?
You would get Romelu. If I was the manager, you would be treated like Romelu Lukaku when you came back to the club and said you didn't want to play for me. Guess what? Go play with the U15s. I'm calling all of them up. I don't care. I do not care one bit. Gone. You owe you 300 grand a week. Don't care. Won't see you ever again. Gone.
But here's my question.
Gone.
And so let's for giggles take the player's perspective and say that works. You're gonna do that to get rid of the manager. What manager of quality would want to come manage you? Like, I mean, I don't understand where the logic of that is. Okay, so it works. We get rid of the manager. But think about the guys that the game got rid of. They got rid of Mourinho and Van Gaal. And, they've gotten rid of top-tier dudes over these players who clearly don't cut it. So I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Because it's worked.
Yeah.
Because it has worked. Their position has been reinforced.
Yep.
But what manager is going to go there?
They don't care. Exactly.
Every week. They don't
give a shit.
They don't care. Right. They don't. Right. They don't care. It's United and Chelsea, and honestly, it's so sad. It's so sad because I hate them so much. It's about the same issues.
Yeah, well, you're in the same place.
other than the fact that they didn't have to change their ownership and lose their entire identity and their bank and their bankroll and who they were and what any of them were even working for or who. Their owners have been disconnected for a while. They don't care.
I would say they're in even though their league position is better because they've had individual moments of quality that have won them games. I still say they are in a worse place, long term.
I do believe they're in a worse place. I agree with that.
I mean, a great example is we brought in Nicholas Jackson about the same time they brought in Rasmus Højlund. Do you know how many goals Rasmus Højlund scored in the league?
None. He's got 0 in the Premier League. None in 12 games.
His games are in that's McTominay.
No, he scored. Yeah, he scored 5 goals in Champions League, and they haven't won a single game he's scored in.
But he hasn't scored a single game in the league.
No, but my thing is that the other thing that's not helping with the situation is, and I mean, we mentioned it, but I think that's sort of magnified. How are they in a Europe spot? They've made
farmers.
We're the farmers.
We are the farmers.
No, Lewis. Go look it up. You want to know how they're in a Europe spot? Go look this statistic up. Guess who gets the most VAR calls called for them in a positive inaction or PK infraction in the game? It's United the last 6 seasons since we implemented VAR. They are on top of that statistic. The last 6 seasons. Take all their VAR goals away, they almost get relegated. Like, it is bad.
So
they
what you're
protect
saying
them, that's
to
why
me,
it's the FA.
So what you're saying to me is that the Glazers own the computers that show the videos to the VAR referees. They see a different VAR screen.
They see the FIFA version that they simulated 2 nights before to make it look
Yeah.
good.
Again,
Yeah.
okay. I know we discussed this last year, but you're talking about, and it happens with the writers, but think about it as the officials too. These guys grew up following the superstars of Man United. I don't care if they were a fan. They were a fan of David Beckham. They were a fan of Wayne Rooney. You know, they see things with a bias. You know, maybe they're not a fan overall, but they see these things and they're like, "What's United?" You know,
So
we're at the theater of dreams, and
So-
that's why I got frustrated last week. Yes, Chelsea played terrible, but Chelsea got screwed too. I mean, truthfully, it was not something where, you know, you're like, if you push a guy down in the box to get a free header, that's a foul.
on the header and on the non-PK, we got screwed twice.
So I have a question because I don't have anything to back it up, but I'm just following the logic because I'm hoping you're right in this. So that would mean
Go look it up right now.
No,
It's
I'm not
sad.
debating that. I'm not debating it, but so then that means either it's English referees only, or this is across all leagues, and so that means that like Real Madrid would have to get the most VAR calls in La Liga, and so we would have to go across and see it similarly for the bias to be as pronounced. Now it's different because Real Madrid is clearly better than anything United has done, and Bayern is better than anything United has done. So it's weird because then the bias is tainted because of the quality of the teams. But I feel maybe
you have a super club in Germany. You already know who the top 3 contenders. In the Prem, you need the FA to back you or protect you, so they end up top 4. Bayern doesn't need that. They know they're going to end up top 4 because there's no, like PSG, there's just not that many teams that really can contend with them over a course of a season. Leverkusen can put a hurt on them for one. Yeah, there's one. Right,
Louis,
there's one.
You've argued History FC for so long. That's exactly what it is.
All it is.
Same thing with Liverpool. Same thing with United. It's History FC.
Liverpool, the same, but that's why they call it Liverpool. Liverpool gets a lot of VAR decisions as well.
So
what about me, man? What about my History FC?
That's what I was about to say. So
what about us? We get shit on by the referees.
That was going to be my question because then
because
you're the History FC's little brother.
FA just they just hate us. Arsenal are just hated in England. It just is what it is.
There's a campaign against
You're the redheaded stepchild of History FC.
There is a campaign against
my glasses and my freckles.
But no, I mean, think about it. All right, who won all the league titles? United. Who won all the titles before there was a Premier League? Liverpool. Think about it.
We've won some leagues before there was a Premier League.
Huh?
We won some leagues before there was. Hey, we dominated the 30s. We dominated the 1930s.
We went bankrupt in the 30s.
As much as we want bias out of football, it's not going to happen. It happens with the reporters. I mean, they were talking about how United looked amazing against Chelsea. Chelsea looked like crap, first off. I won't say that we didn't. But, I mean, they looked okay. Like, I didn't come away from that game thinking, man, United really is going to turn the corner here. It was Chelsea played terrible. And they still should have won that game.
Even in this game, the announcers were like, oh, you knew.
Yeah, the commentators on Peacock, one of them was like a straight up United fan. And the whole time he's going, yeah, well, we need to do this and we need to do this better. And I'm like,
so I have a new question now. So I have a new question. So if the commentators are seeing that, then how can they knowingly continue to do it, watching what it is? Because there have been plenty of United fans. I think Rio Ferdinand and another United player has scathing indictments of how poorly the club has been run and is.
Oh yeah, Neville's the same way. Giggs
Neville,
the same way.
How are they watching the
Ferdinand's
legend say, hey, this club is being run like garbage, and that the commentators are like, hey, we're gonna cheat for them or whatever? Because it doesn't even square where the goal is. Wouldn't it make sense just to get them out, so then you can get whoever in and then bring back all the prestige or whatever that's there? Because it's weird, because it's on one hand you like, okay, are these guys just pawns, or they're just the lackeys to make it sound like somebody is being critical of them? Or are we watching people knowingly watch a train wreck and say, you know what, it's not a train wreck though?
I think honestly, 100%, it's NBC. It's the production team in their ear saying, okay, today you are going to be pro United. No matter what happens, you are saying that United are the best things since sliced bread. And then your counterpart today, you are going to be for Liverpool. They're going to, and then Tim Howard today, you're going to say some nonsense, but you got to say it because we're paying you to say this stupid crap. And so it's not even about the game anymore. It's not even about the game anymore.
Right, because with NBC, you're exactly right, Jake. You're exactly right. Who is the biggest following in the Americas for any Premier League team?
United. It's Manchester United.
Exactly.
Manchester
United,
United,
what NBC's going to do because they bought out and poured millions of dollars into
streaming? Dude, you remember last season? Do you remember last season when there was riots outside of Old Trafford and they were doing the protests and it was in the middle of a flipping Arsenal game? They switched the broadcast in the middle of an Arsenal game to the scenes outside of Old Trafford. So much so that I tweeted at Peacock and NBC and they answered me on the air because of how angry I was. I said, turn it back to the game. This is a disgrace. You know what Rebecca Lowe said? I'll never forget it. She goes, oh, we apologize to the Arsenal fans. We know that it's important that you get to watch your game, but this is really important too, and we'd like to show you the scenes here. I was incensed that day. And it's clear that the production is in the absolute toilet.
Milan fans,
they're pandering. They're just straight pandering, man.
Yep. Or no, it was it's Everton. Everton during their protest had it right. I sympathize with them 10,000%. Had it right in their banners.
It's crazy.
And I sympathize with the Milan fans with saying you're going to come in and buy all of our money. I would throw fake money at my players too. Oh, you want to sell out? Here's some Donnarumma dollars. I don't care.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's just straight money. That's all it is, and it's ruining. Like Jake said, it's just ruining the integrity of all from top to bottom.
Oh, I don't listen to NBC's comment.
I listen to it in Spanish, so I can't tell what.
The Spanish. I would rather listen to it in Spanish. Well, they have different. It's a different set of commentators.
All the time.
It's a different broadcast. In Spanish, it's a different broadcast. And I would be more than happy to listen to the Spanish guys because it's different stylistically. Yeah. The commentators, there's a 3-man team instead of a 2-man team. It's a whole different thing.
When there's a goal, it doesn't matter who it is. It's epic. It
doesn't matter if it was a tap in or if it was Cristiano Ronaldo bicycle kick. They're flipping their lid, and it's incredible.
I love it.
But I think we're being a little bit disingenuous. We've gone now 23 minutes without mentioning the team that won.
Got Bournemouth.
Well,
Bournemouth, take their chances, man. Look good.
To United because this could have been 6.
Oh, it could have. They've hit the bar twice. They've had 2 goals disallowed. They could have been 7-0. And so Bournemouth, they're actually playing well recently. Yes, they've caught United in an absolute horror time, but there wasn't a soul on the planet that said Bournemouth are going to win 3-0. Even the Cherries fans probably didn't say
They were just hoping for a draw.
that they're gonna win 3-0.
Yeah, you walk in
You
there
know,
for a draw, you walk out with 3. It's a
and
great
so credit Bournemouth for coming to Old Trafford, yes, and it's not even a wounded tiger. It's more like a decimated kitten.
trapped squirrel.
Yeah, it's a squirrel caught in a trap that they've come up against. And hey, they took their chances and they won the game. Credit to Bournemouth, who have a very important 6-pointer. You can't even say it's like a 6-pointer anymore because Bournemouth are like they're doing better than being in the bottom. So they do have a game against Luton next week. Still a pretty big game. But we'll move to the opposite end of the table. Liverpool pull it back versus Crystal Palace.
Wild game.
Pissed me off, man. This game made me
Wild
very mad because for 70 minutes, Palace were the better team.
Palace had them.
And then Jordan Ayew is one of my most hated players of all time in the Premier League.
Well, didn't he play for Ghana too? So, that
he was in both Ghana teams in 2006 and in 2010 that knocked USA out of both of those World Cups.
Yep.
So there's one reason. But then literally every time I watch too much soccer. Okay? I watch so much soccer, right? And I've seen more Crystal Palace this year than I want to have seen. Literally every game, he does not change. Jordan Ayew does not change. If the wind blows, he's going down. His goal in every single game that he plays is to con the referee. That is his goal in every single game. You, sir, are a petulant child. You deserve this red card, and you deserve to be punched in the throat by your own teammates.
Cost his game.
You 150 million% lost your team this game.
Them the game. Yep.
Because they were the better team.
Yep.
Right up until the red card, and you get scored on immediately.
Immediately get banged on. Yep.
You had an opportunity. Why do you have to pull a Tottenham? Why do you have to be a Spursy? You're winning the game. Why do you have to lose your head like that? First of all, you stood in front of the ball when they went to take the quick free kick. You know they're giving you yellow for that. You're getting a yellow card for that.
I disagree with that 100%.
Regardless of if it's dumb rule. It might be a dumb rule, X.
Call your 10. Call your 10 if you want me to move, bro. Call your 10.
Look,
that's what it's
whatever. I hear you. The rule is dumb.
Oh, I know.
We've already talked about how dumb rules are.
Rules are.
But he knows.
Oh, he knows.
He knows he's getting a yellow for that. And
in my shin guard in front
and I've heard people talking about, how it was a soft second yellow. You're getting a yellow for that too, dog.
Was kicking the ball when it's out of bounds. That's soft. Like, come on,
dude. You've stopped the counterattack with a cheap foul. You know for a fact you're getting sent off there.
Yep.
You've 100% lost the game for your team. It's unacceptable. It's a disgrace. And honestly, par for the course for Jordan Ayew. When that happened, I was like, yep, that's about right.
You know how many laps I would make? Like, bro.
Fines, man.
I'm a different kind of coach.
It's Roy Hodgson. He's old school, man. Fine this man $50,000.
Yeah, frankly, impart him. Hit him a bill. Like,
I would fine you so hard. Like, you don't want to be playing for me. I would fine you so hard, man. You'd be playing with the reserves. You would not train.
No.
You would not train with us this week.
You'd still be at the stadium running steps. Like, that's how upset I am. You either give me $50,000 or give me 50,000 steps.
You'd still be there right now. You'd still be running right now.
$50,000 or 50,000 steps. Your choice.
It's not acceptable. I
agree. I agree. He lost his team the game. Like, I 100% agree.
Poole were not.
It made this game wild, though.
The finish was great.
Right up.
I mean, it ratchet and Liverpool, like they can do, ratcheted it up.
Yep.
Ratcheted the pressure up. Palace dropped deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and gave it away in the end. And I wanted to vomit.
Do you think Trent should have gotten sent off before all of this, though? That's too egregious. The PK should have been a card in and of itself, and then there's one before it as well.
I think he's a little bit lucky.
To not.
I don't think it's as obvious, as clear, but I think he's a little bit lucky.
Because that's a yellow on the PK. Like, if you give the PK,
it's got to be a yellow.
Foul is a yellow.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. What'd you say, Lewis, about Liverpool?
The funny thing about it is that you knew once that you gave Salah any space, which is what that red card did. He was gonna do exactly what Salah does. He just does what he does.
Patrick sat him on the bench.
No, he just wasn't captain.
Oh man.
You got to make him captain, man. We need the curse of Patrick's fantasy team to hit Liverpool. Just buy all the Liverpool players, man. Get all of them on. Get Noodles. Yeah.
They only limit you to 3.
But Salah had a goal and an assist, right? Yeah, I mean he did everything.
200th goal for Liverpool.
I don't think he had an assist. I think he just had a goal.
No, he had a goal and an assist.
He got the assist for Harvey Elliott. Comes in. Youngster.
It's a nice one.
When they needed a goal, came in and got it. It's one of those moments where Klopp's like, "Hey, man, we need it."
Made me look good.
Made me look good, and he sure did. He absolutely did. Any thoughts on this one, Patrick?
No, I mean, I was surprised it wasn't more. I agree that Palace was the better side for about 70 minutes. I am glad to see that if a defender goes through somebody runs through someone in the back, that is actually a foul. And there was consistency. I know that we were talking about that in the chat, but I have no problem if you call a foul and then you follow up and call the foul later in the game the same way.
The whole game. Right.
That's consistent.
You're reffing
That's what I'm looking
whole
for.
Game. Yeah.
I'm not sitting here complaining because, that shouldn't be a foul. If you think it's a foul, it's a foul. Make sure you call it consistently throughout the game.
Different refs have it right. I agree.
That's my whole thing, right? But I actually watched a good bit of this one. I had to leave for some reason. No, I passed back out. That's what it was. I fell back asleep. I fell back.
As soon as IU gets the red card, you're like, oh well, this is done.
Oh, this is
it was before that. Right around the 50th minute is when I fell back asleep.
That's when it was grid.
The halftime show put you to sleep.
It did. It really did. I didn't sleep well Friday night. So, but no. I mean, I said it last week. I stand by it. I think this is going to come down to Liverpool and Arsenal. Liverpool keeps finding ways. I made a big deal about them not having a defensive midfield. Doesn't matter. When you've got the attack power that they have, it just doesn't matter.
I'm gonna play 6 strikers. Skip it.
Yeah. We're gonna play the 7-3 this week.
High level again. You got Trent, who's I don't know if he's playing right back or if he's playing midfield.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't either.
He does. I think he just roams.
His position isn't like left. It's not wing back. It's not mid. It's just left.
You should go out there and do whatever it is you do.
It's just the left.
He doesn't invert. He just goes wherever he wants.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I just, it hurts me to say it, but again, Klopp gets it right after he starts making subs. It's actually quite impressive how he makes subs that change the game. He is a master tactician when it comes to that because, we've talked about Pep, who sometimes won't make subs because he likes the way his team's set up. Even if Klopp likes the way his team is set up, he finds something to make them better. And I think that's what makes him an incredible manager. pains me to say that because I don't like Liverpool at all.
He has undoubtedly the best Premier League teams to have ever fielded the Prem. The 2019 prime Liverpool, bro.
Oh yeah, that was insane,
bro. Their stats rival, the Invincibles. We always talk about the Chelsea, 15 goals in an entire season. Prime Liverpool is right there with some
the team that finished in second, right?
Huh? Yeah. I would like to see.
I love the silence that brought.
The team that actually beat y'all to another Champions League,
Yeah, but did they win the league?
They weren't focused. They were not focused on the league.
They weren't focused.
They weren't focused on the league.
Because we found
bigger fish.
Bigger fish to fry, But no, I mean, it just
Liverpool still hits the treble that year. They just don't count it because it's not the Prem. They still win the FA.
Because they didn't count City when City won all the domestic trophies. So let's just go ahead and make sure, because it was a City pool year that year too. And the one time you get to it was COVID. It took a global pandemic for them to get us,
bro. Don't.
I love it.
I'm giving facts. I'm not making it up.
You really think your team was better than Prime? You won the league on.
Well, clearly we were because we won the league.
No, they went 69 games unbeaten, bro.
And we won the league. So that means we won.
Just because y'all didn't draw as many, you won twice.
Well, I mean, you can flip.
Was that 198 or something like that?
Listen, yeah.
That was the year Liverpool hit 98 points
98
and lost.
points out of a possible 101 and still lost. Yeah. That's because they have teams like QPR laying down for City, giving them the league at the last day. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, man, you play the teams that's in front of you. That ain't my fault they was losing the teams they weren't supposed to lose to.
They didn't lose. They didn't lose at all.
They lost one game. They lost one game that season. Yeah. Well, anyway.
I'm actually a little afraid what Liverpool is going to do in January because
I'm looking forward to them playing United. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's next weekend. The 10-0. Eric Ten Hag is going to get it.
There's your 10-0.
It's going to be the Ten Hag is going to live up to his name, Eric Ten Hag instead of Seven Hag. Yeah, but
I know we're not doing predictions. I'm saying it now. If United find a way to draw or win this game, I might start watching football for the next month. Because ain't no way in the world.
My head will explode. My head will explode. That would be crazy.
In complete I will take a vow of silence for the rest of the season. I will be done.
Yeah, that'll just destroy everybody's world. But we'll move to another game that did not make me very happy at all.
Newcastle let me down.
What is going on with Newcastle, man?
Enigma. You want to talk about an enigma team?
The whole league.
Injuries. Man. Just injuries, dude.
This league, like I say every week, it's week to week. At this point.
Wait, Jake, but we all made fun of Newcastle when Trippier said something about injuries. We can't give it to him on this one.
No, Spurs are just as bad. Spurs are just as injured.
We can't give it to them on this one.
Are they though? Newcastle were terrible. Let's face it, they were awful. They've played the same 11 though for 6 games running or something. They've started the same 11 guys. And I'm not defending them. I hate Newcastle. Okay, I really do. I do not like what they've become under Eddie Howe.
Newfound hate for Newcastle.
Joe Ellington played basketball for the Tar Heels. Joe Linton, you've gone from being this strong, physical, good passer to just kicking the crap out of people. You literally, your whole game is hurting players. I'm really, really starting to think that Eddie Howe is out here going, let's kick the crap out of people. Let's really, really, really be super physical and put it on them. He's stopping just short of saying, I want injuries.
No, yeah, he's stopping short of the hit list.
Just saying, he's stopping just short of saying injure people.
Yep.
Because it's clear that they go out to body up people. That is like their number one strategy is let's get 13 to 15 fouls in the first half.
They're the new villain. They're the new villain.
Is he the Cobra Kai dojo master?
Pretty much. That's
dojo.
Sweep the leg.
That's pretty much what's going on. But I want to give credit, even though I don't like Pasta No Clue either. I want to give credit
this one.
for the fact that it's just impressive. As much as I absolutely cannot stand Spurs, and that goes without saying, but it's just impressive from a footballing standpoint that they've been able to. No matter who plays, no matter who's in there, they are doing the same things. They're trying to do the same. They're pressing high. They're hot. Their line is still high, no matter who's in there, and Sergio Romero has come back in the last 2 games, and they've looked a lot more assured in the back until he decides to try and get a red card. My man should be sent off.
It's just second nature to him at this point.
Gone.
Dude, I don't like to say the word scum, but this is scummy. This is some dirt. He's just dirty, man. You want to talk about trying to hurt people? Yeah. He legitimately, and you will not convince me, he's tried to hurt Enzo, his countryman.
His countryman.
That's because they know. That's because he knows they don't need him.
And then he's tried to hurt. And it was who was it? It was a Brazilian. It was one of the Brazilians. So, that one kind of makes sense. It was one of the Brazilians. It was either Guimaraes or Joe Linton, and he is. Like, I don't even have a word for that, bro.
When the defender makes you choose between your own safety or playing the ball.
He's just short of stabbing this man. Like
that I take with that, right?
I was shocked. I was shocked that he's not sent off.
Yep.
And I don't think it would have changed. I don't think it would have changed the game. It was like 3-1 or something at the time. It was like, no, it was 3-0 at the time.
Yeah. You already said it though. It's the same. It's the same offense. I don't know how he hasn't gotten called here.
I'm shocked.
Patrick hinted on consistency. It's the same offense. It's the same offense that he created against Chelsea.
But I think Newcastle are suffering under the same sort of thing Villa are away from home. Villa and Newcastle are both real strong at home. Just don't bring it away from home. Villa not so much. Newcastle away have not won in like 8 games away from home. They're atrocious. I think their away form is only Sheffield's away form is worse than Newcastle's.
Wow.
I think is a stat that I heard. Spurs needed the win, big win for them. I'm not really gonna sit here and celebrate that too much. But like I say, they continue to play their football no matter what, and that at least is impressive, inspiring, whatever you want to call it. We'll move to another crazy game. Fulham have now scored 10 goals in 2 games. Another goose eggs on the predictions table for us. Like, what? It's an Alex Iwobi masterclass. What? Now, look, I am an Alex Iwobi fan. I was a fan when he was back at Arsenal. He's one of those guys that it's like, I like you, man, but you're just not on the level. You're just not there.
That's William.
And West Ham, who've been decent this season, you let my man Iwobi run you over? Raul Jimenez gets a brace?
Raul Jimenez. Whew.
You let Williams score on the back post? West Ham never got off the bus. They needed their second goalkeeper, and he didn't show up. They did not even get off the bus for this one, man. I couldn't believe it. I watched the highlights. I didn't watch this full 90. I watched the highlights, and there are no West Ham attacks in the highlights. It's one-way traffic. Like the whole highlight reel, the whole NBC highlight package for Peacock. Not a single West Ham attack. What?
Pop bubbles, man.
I was shocked. But hey, man, Fulham flying. If Jimenez can start scoring, they might be able to, do a couple things for some of these mid-table teams. They might give Chelsea a game.
What's funny is I'm looking at.
We already beat them once.
I'm looking at the stats here.
At the Cottage.
8 shots on target for Fulham.
8?
5 goals.
Jesus.
Converting, baby.
But
Arsenal need to take a leaf out of that book.
West Ham has 5 shots on target.
That's insane. How do you? I'll figure that would have been way bigger.
The total shots 14-9.
That's wild.
And they got smoked.
Smoked. Absolutely smoked. That's crazy.
Zigzagged. Straight.
That's crazy.
Smoked.
Yeah. Well, speaking of another result that's pretty shocking,
Yo.
Burnley were the better team in the Brighton Burnley game. I couldn't believe it.
Yo.
Once again, this is another. I watched some of it in the beginning, like I said, but then I switched to United. It's like, what's going on with Brighton, man?
I watched this game.
They haven't.
Yeah.
They've won like once or twice in 8 games as well, 8 or 9 games. Like,
I'm shocked De Zerbi's not getting.
Is De Zerbi still crying? Because bro has started whining a lot lately.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why he's not gonna get fired, because they've overachieved, and because they've overachieved, they're basically where they're supposed to be. Because right now they're in 8th, which is still a little bit overachieving, and so they are where they're supposed to be.
mm-hmm.
Think about they were a couple of seasons ago. We were thinking they were relegation fodder.
Yeah.
Then they bang.
That's
then
fair.
they bang.
And they're on the top.
Then Graham Potter came along.
Save the day.
I will slap both of you.
Oh my god!
There is no one I hate.
That team to win last year.
Brighton has 26 points.
No.
They're
They're
4 points off of 5th.
Yeah, bro.
So X can't even handle it. We've just blown his mind all over the room. But credit Burnley, man. Credit Vinny. It was a good goal.
A huge point for Burnley.
Yeah, for sure. Good goal. Maybe took a little bit of a deflection, but they'll definitely take that. Absolutely. Good performance. And Burnley had opportunities to win this. Brighton were peppering them, to be honest. But Brighton have just not been able to. They just haven't been able to score. At the end of this game, man, it was chance after chance after chance after shot after chance after shot. Matoma should have scored like 3 times. Like I was shocked.
I gotta say at least twice.
Yo, shout out James Trafford, the goalkeeper for Burnley. Cartwheels, man, standing on his head. This guy, like, that joke video where the goalkeeper keeps getting smashed in the face.
Yeah,
this is what it reminded me of. Like, no matter what, Brighton just couldn't get it past him. No matter what they tried, they just couldn't get it past my man. And he didn't matter if it was a deflection. Bro stood on his head. So huge credit goes out. Man of the match, by far, man of the match for the whole match. Both teams definitely by far the man of the match. But yeah, great result for Burnley. And speaking of great results for teams down at the bottom, the new manager bounce finally comes through for Chris Wilder and the Sheffield United Blades against a poor, lackluster Brentford. This was shocking. Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. 100%.
They could absorb Tony because they had Wisa and Mboma. Now they don't have Mboma. Wisa's going to be worthless. No offense to him. He's,
It's
they just don't have it now.
Right.
Yeah, and I watched these highlights as well.
How long
It's
is he out?
weeks. He might be out till January.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. They're going to struggle mightily without him. But Sheffield, man, I figured this one. I predicted 0-0 in this. Remember, I figured this one would be not a lot of quality going forward. But Sheffield found it, man. It's a decent goal they've scored, and Brentford aren't necessarily a team that's breaking down low blocks.
No.
And so Sheffield just kind of kept them at bay. Just, massive win. That's a massive win. And maybe Chris Wilder will have them, scoring goals like they haven't been doing. And we'll find out.
Not this weekend.
You guys will find out next weekend just what they can do. In it'll be Chris Wilder's third game at that point. So we'll see when they go to the Bridge. I doubt very seriously they're going to do much there, but then again, Chelsea or Chelsea. So who knows? Well, that leaves just one game, and both of these teams have become enigma teams. I feel like
they just had 0-0 written all over it.
You did call a draw.
Yeah, and you said 1-1, right?
No, I didn't know. No, I said 2-0. I said 2-0 Wolves.
Holy cow!
I said 2-2. So
there it is. Yeah.
0-0
written all over. I'm shocked either of these two teams scored.
I'm not shocked that they scored. The fact that they drew is a poor result for Wolves, I think, especially at home. Seems like it was a tough bit of a slog. Again, I didn't get to watch this one either. Seems like it was a tough slog, and I expect Forest. I mean, I watched the highlights, so the Forest were definitely kind of pinned in, doing their sit back and counter thing, but definitely a very even game, probably a fair result. Really not much going on there. Forest, I think, have dropped off a bit, man. And Steve Cooper, it's looking long. Graham Potter's been talked about for the Forest job.
He's been talked about for about 8 jobs.
A bunch of jobs.
That's because my man's finally coming back from his beach paid vacation, man. Like
he got turned down for one today. I want to say in the championship, actually.
Wherever he goes, I guarantee if he stays for a season, they get relegated. I don't care where it is. You know what? Potter United, baby.
Potter to Manchester United all day long. I would love it.
For it.
I would love that.
Don't waste his talents at someone like Forest or Wolves. Just don't. You gotta send him to a high-profile club. Let him get United relegated. I'm here for it.
That would be glorious. That would be absolutely glorious.
Don't go to Forest, man. You're better than that. You're better than that, man. You're better than that. But
yeah, I feel like it's drop points for Wolves. They're probably not very satisfied with this. Forest, on the other hand, probably it's probably a good point. They probably take that at the beginning of the game. But
this helps.
Yeah, they're around in the same area in the table, so even in the game, even in the table, it makes sense to me. But yeah, that's all the reviews done, and it is Champions League this week. Arsenal doesn't matter. City doesn't matter. Newcastle looking long for sure.
Done.
Yeah,
they don't get the Europa.
They're
spot.
In Dortmund.
If they lose this, they don't get the Europa spot.
They're in Dortmund, yeah. So they're fighting. They're fighting to not finish fourth.
Yeah.
And same with Manchester United.
Oh yeah.
In Bayern Munich. So Bayern. So United have to have a Copenhagen Galatasaray draw, and they have to beat Bayern.
And Bayern just lost by like 4 goals to Leverkusen.
Yeah, they lost 4-1 or something like that.
They are going to.
They're going to rip them a new one.
Annihilate.
Harry Kane has already said in the press that they're going to bounce back at Old
Well,
Trafford.
that's because their focus wasn't on that game. Their focus was on annihilating.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really, really bad. But yeah, I'll definitely be tuning in to some Champions League action.
100%.
I don't know how closely I'll watch. I'll watch. Of course, I'm going to watch the Arsenal game, but and I'll do a match reaction. But it might be pretty laid back, because we're not. As long as nothing happens that pisses me off, I'm sure we'll be fine. And then City are Wednesday, I think. So yeah, I'll be tuning into some of the other groups to see all the action. The final day's got to be exciting in some of the groups at least. So yeah. We'll definitely be there for that. And if you're as excited about the week ahead as we are, go ahead and smash up the likes. Get that notification bell on as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for being here. We are on our way to 200 subscribers. And hope you're having a wonderful season out there. Hope you're having a great night as well. And you will see us next time.